4 losses in a row that they had. They're 5 wins, no draws, 5 losses. Instead of being a 10th in each.
Hey Nathan, not sure if you're still on. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna do 24 hours, try to pass the time. Be my first long form live video, trying to figure out YouTube, camera, realizing there is like a delay on the video. Not sure how much you guys are getting on that end. On charge this morning. I need to do that last night, so aiming to take a break every 4 hours to sit down, check my feet, make sure they're doing okay. We are starting to do prep for both the Arizona Monster, the 300-mile run in Arizona, and the Cocodona 250. So just trying to get some conditioning in on feet, ankles, figure out different types of shoes, where they're rubbing, if I should continue to use them. So I'm going to try to do as close to 24 hours straight. The obviously restaurant breaks, we've got some food, nutrition, and everything we'll need. The goal today is not to go super fast. I don't have any major goals for distance, but the plan will be to just stay on my feet, get as many steps in, check equipment, check nutrition, see how we do sleep deprived, and go from there. Thanks for stopping by. If you've checked in, appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, mainly we got a Arizona Monster is taking place starting Friday the 4th, so we're going to aim for that. The goal isn't to be fast, it's just to keep going, so I'm not sure how much talking I'm going to be doing all the way through. Learning a little bit about what I need to do to get more comfortable doing live streams with YouTube, building content, getting comfortable talking in front of the camera. It should be a fun day. Might decrease the temperature of the house shortly, and then on my first break I just realized that I didn't plug my iPad charger in, so we'll be hoping that the camera holds up for the first segment. We'll do some different drills, doing different speeds, some inclining, declining afterwards, but we'll go from there. Just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I'm on a treadmill, pretty nice controlled conditions. Figuring out, I have the TV there, I have my laptop, I have a couple of documents to keep going, so I'm gonna just keep it nice and steady. Hopefully the heart rate stays down pretty low. I have everything around me I need to kind of be successful throughout the days. And then figure out how bored I get. Definitely could do much better outside, but just for the day that's in it, we're going to just work on the treadmill, get used to that, and tomorrow afternoon eat a whole bunch and sleep a whole bunch. Figuring out the undershot, my double chin isn't super flattering. And I have my weird part of my beard that's dark, so that makes it look really bad, at least from this angle. A couple more of these and hopefully that'll disappear. Look, I'll keep going. My moustache doesn't look as creepy since my beard grew in a little bit more. I don't have a solid moustache, like it's there, but it looks really awkward. Setting this up has been pretty handy about learning just some of the functions of my camera, YouTube, stuff like that. Heading out to Arizona for a month to do some hiking around, and over weather and temperature is going to be interesting. So we'll see how that does. And hopefully just get some hours on my ankles. Messing around with my settings on YouTube as well. Right now, see everything that has to get done in between. That's it. So I'm trying to figure out if I do this again, set this, when people are scrolling, like what's going on in the background, trying to find that balance. I mean, something across the top, other than it looking like somebody's walking towards you. This would be one of my goals, is to have that video in kind of long form, to try to reach kind of the monetization levels, trying to figure out where to get that 3,000 to 4,000 hours of watch hours. So just having something I can throw on in the background of other people just there, can throw it on. Try to figure this YouTube carry on out, whilst next month I'm going to be down in Arizona walking on a lot of the trails, trying to capture some of that stuff. So a couple of different reasons to be doing this. But thankfully this is not going to be a fast race. It's not designed to be for me to look like I'm a high-end runner, because that I am not anymore. But I don't want to say anymore. I used to be a pretty decent runner, but now I think one of the appeals of ultra running is I don't need to go fast. I just need to keep moving. So that is what we plan on doing. We will continue to get better. I'd say I was got some weight to lose to be somewhat successful. That DiGiorno stuff crust pizza took its toll. But we are gonna keep walking, so it's like that work day. Goes for 24 hours. Feels like you've been in there for 22, you look down, we got 10 minutes on the clock. So still plenty of miles and steps to go. Trying to figure out how much absolute waffle I can talk about over 24 hours. I have a YouTube, well, came in this morning, I was hoping to do a good warm up, make sure my feet are set, get them stretched, do some pressure release stuff, and I spent over an hour trying to figure out my camera. I was gonna have a nice background, all this different stuff, for like my streaming page that I've been trying to set up. And then it started to get too close in time, so we threw the iPad out. The camera's still just sitting there in the corner. I was hoping to be a little bit prepared this morning, but so far I am set up and fueled on a pizza that I had for lunch. Half a pizza. And then all my food's got my snacks beside me. Got some tailwind that will hopefully get me through the latter part, through the middle of the night. And really what we're trying to do is get to a point where mentally I'm thinking about, like, not so much how little I've done, but like what is left to do. So that is going to be kind of the mental game. And then, like I mentioned, every 3 to 4 hours I'm going to take like a 5-10 minute sit down, check my feet, make sure everything is in working order, take notes, how my feet are feeling, how my hips are doing, mentally where I am. So I want to kind of debrief that on each of those. So, and then I'll timestamp for myself so I can review my comments if I'm making a video. And then I'm not sure how much writing I'll end up doing, but for now, just happily content with what I'm on. Sorry this isn't more entertainment, but here we are. I'm ready to go. In the background we have 12 hours of copyright-free music, free background music from YouTube. So it's got 12 hours on there. So hoping that'll keep me. I don't know where I want it to keep me, but it will keep me somewhere. I'm saying maybe. So far it's been a nice melody. More maybe melody. I haven't really paid that much attention. Distracted. That's in my computer. I have my documents we're gonna be reviewing. I have to download and print the most recent Cocodona Runners Pack, but I have the Arizona Monster, April 4th. What's that, 16, 18? About 18 weeks away, so the goal is to lose approximately 2 to 3 pounds a week. So we're at a much more reasonable pace. So the next 5 days, or let's say 6 weeks between Thanksgiving and the New Year, we will pretty focused on weight loss, conditioning my legs. So a lot of my gym work lately has been focused on high rep, low weight in the gym. So trying to make sure that I continually build that. That's really what I want to make sure, is that during the power hiking, is that both of these races have a lot of mountain climbs. So I want to make sure that I get my breathing on uphill hiking sorted out properly. Background image there on the YouTube video that I'm watching a lot of the time. It's pulsing, and I'm not sure if it's making me feel dizzy as I'm watching that. It's got this like back and forth pulsing with a forest background. But yeah, I don't think I'll be looking at the screen too much if it keeps doing that. Getting today's Saturday in my head, certainly it was Sunday, but I do keep getting corrected. I think maybe I should I didn't have the watch set to like have a treadmill. I wasn't really focused on that, but turn it on now and track my steps, see what's going on. My chest strap, I'll put that on after the first break. I'd be interested to see what my heart rate does when I am tired. Figure out what is the delay. Is it always like that? And if so, that's interesting. I didn't realize it was like about a 3, 4, 5 second delay. So I'm not sure if that's just my internet connection with that bandwidth. Maybe it's even longer than that. Yeah, thank you everybody here stopping by. If you just want to have this on in the background, have an annoying English guy talking as he just walks on the treadmill with the rhythmic motion of the treadmill belt. That'd be pretty cool. Trying to get those watch hours up on YouTube. But yeah, we are just walking. We're going to do some hill climbs at some point. Have a couple of different incline percentages I want to hit and sustain them for over a long period. I like walking on an incline, small incline to start with, just to warm up my ankles. They're definitely pretty tight in the mornings, So then you've got a seat behind me for those and sit down breaks. I'm gonna make sure that I do some stretching. I have like a pressure ball. I'm gonna keep those feet mobile and feet. It's gonna be interesting to see if there's limits on the length of the live stream. Probably should have done a little bit more reading on it beforehand, but the goal was to do a 24-hour race before the new year. I'm going to be moving around for the next few months, so it seemed like a good time to do it. So I'm going to be spending a month in Arizona, headed to Flagstaff and the Sedona area. I'm going to be trying to hit up as many of the trails there for the Code 250. Some beautiful spots there. Realizing it's getting closer into winter, so obviously play it smart, figure out where those trails are and stay safe. Really, the goal for next month is to put as many miles on my legs as possible. Take time to recover, integrate a whole bunch of weightlifting, go from there. See where we land. And looking at my waddle doesn't make you self-conscious at all. No, could be sweat, could be a stain. First time I've noticed it. Hopefully I'm not sweating already. Like that. Bunch of water beside me. Make sure I stay hydrated. Well, that's going to be when I go to do the 2 ultra distance races. It's going to be one of my weaknesses. One of the things I'm going to be hyper focused on is hydration. The knock-on effect of that is making sure the pack that I'll be carrying will be pretty heavy. So, because I want to make sure that I'm carrying enough water. So, getting used to that. I mean, I'm pretty chunky right now, so if I lose the weight, it'll be a good trade-off. So, we'll start going through some of the Arizona Monster guidebook. Hopefully that'll kind of give me something to talk about. Something to be inspired by. I'm not sure I found that inspiring anybody. And like I mentioned, this isn't meant to be a fast. This is a way for me to train that overnight sleep deprivation moving, kind of mentally making sure that I stay active in a way that there is that level of accountability as well. By being up here, it allows me to push myself, because I've said I'm going to do 24 hours, so we're going to do 24 hours. I say that once I'm 23 minutes in, almost 24 minutes in. Wow. And trying to make sure that that level of accountability is maintained right the way through. And it is, I need to know kind of how the live stream functions, the chat box. Pizza's starting to make its way back up. But, yeah. And what does the YouTube algorithm think or do? So the goal of this, or the goal, is to kind of have YouTube as my primary focal point. Trying to build some additional content, especially when we're down in Arizona. Just get some awesome shots. said, it's going to be December, so I'm not expecting a huge amount going on over there, but I'm going to shoot up to the Grand Canyon. In my head, I'm like, oh, I could do the rim to rim to rim, which is just shy of 50 miles, or just over. Plan being just to give that an attempt. I know myself, I'm not that quick, but it's great watching videos on YouTube of people that do it, and then you go through like, yeah, I could do that. Realistically, I may get to the upper end, roll over, take a nap, and hope somebody comes to wake me in the morning. So, that one require a little bit more speed, but hoping to get in there and do part of the rim to rim. Maybe that's both ways, or we'll see what happens. We've got a month down there of just training, so should be fun. So, for the Arizona Monster, so it's 300 miles through a variety of the trails through the southern part of Arizona, starting on Friday, April 4th. Starts at 11 a.m. and goes through till April 11th, once again at 1 p.m. So 170 hours. So that's 7 days, 2 hours to complete 300 miles. The 300 miles is almost easy in respect. It's the elevation and the elevation that we'll be facing. So that's why I am trying to train my legs as much as I am. Not to get big, bulky and heavy, but just to have that high repetition. So making sure quads, hamstrings, calves, glutes are all firing. So there'll be a lot of time spent on steppers. I'm a huge fan of a thousands workout. What it is, it's 10 sets of 100 reps per exercise. And then super lightweight. It's not meant to build huge amounts of muscle. It is meant to pre-exhaust the primary movers and to ensure everything that's secondary to certain movements then starts to get activated. So it's going to be the primary goal, just to make sure secondary muscles are moving, figure out weak points, sciatica, lower back, make sure core is strong. Past 5-6 years, been heavily based in an office, so I know I have some core work to do. Regular base fitness and back, just posture work, working on core movements, stability ball, and unilateral movements, so using one part of the body at a time, one arm, one leg, and ensuring that there's good core stabilization. I digress. Easily distracted I am. I'll zone off, talk about something else and forget about what I'm talking about. So, funny, first line in this handbook is, it's a run, not a race. I will be waddling. There'll be a waddle. Potentially even a roll downhill. It's all about endurance. So, being able to keep moving mentally, being able to stay active, whether that's tricking yourself into completing it to move the next mile, staying present in the moment and not thinking about that next mile or the next 100 miles, and break it down into the next mile. just so that there is a reasonable goal that is super easy to achieve. So there will be swag, the awards. You just get one for finishing, and then there's some finisher medals. I don't even worry about those. So the registration is open, so the race will check in. So the run and check in, April 3rd. It'll be relatively early start. So 11 p.m. Not really an early start, mid-afternoon start. So that's nice because you're not waking up, or it doesn't have like a crack of dawn start, which means you have to wake up an hour, 2 hours before the race to get moving, to eat, to make sure you're comfortable once you get started. So go do a mandatory medical check, make sure that the GPX down onto the device, mandatory gear check, drop bags. I have to buy some of my drop bags. I have to make sure that they are the right size. Drop bags are located around the place so that you can pick them up throughout the race with any essential supplies. Just outside of Fort Worth, well, pretty much in Fort Worth, Texas. And stickers and burrs are really bad. Every pair of shoes I have, I'm pulling them out. Stabbed myself with one, and I thought I got all the thorns out. There's one stuck in my side of my finger. And I hope my isn't just going up my Bluetooth. Hopefully I haven't been talking all this time, and my iPad was thinking it was connected to the headphones, my Bluetooth, which I don't have in, and it's just been an empty screen. Half an hour in, nothing too crazy. I think I turned the heating on this morning to chill out the air. I mean, it wasn't too cold. Texas has been relatively warm. I think it was meant to have a warm day at 80 tomorrow. It's meant to reach 80 tomorrow. So we definitely haven't got the chill. Some places have friends and family back home and get snow. So I wouldn't be a fan now myself. However, I do like wearing hats and being in the cold weather. Plodding along, plodding along. Maybe I should have, because we're moving 2 weeks. I had my PlayStation packed away and everything. I feel like that would have been a good way to just pass the time, try to stay coordinated. Yeah, staying nice and steady, nice and slow. Increase it a little bit. It's almost tiring trying to keep my stride length shorter. This run is not for the faint of heart. It is a non-stop, multi-day event. It is very physical and mentally demanding. Runners often experience hallucination, and sleep deprivation. So it's going to be a multi-day, over 300 miles. My happy ass is aiming for one night. Start hallucinating. Who knows? Experience and preparation. Runners should have a run ultra distance experience. Oh yep. Fast packing experience. Physically and mentally trained. And a little bit mental. I think that's a fair trade-off. Now prepared for heat and cold. And prepared to carry a heavy pack between aid stations. Should be fun. Runners are expected to know what to carry each time, so there's going to be mandatory carry kits in between each of those stations. Water. So make sure we have all the water. Like I mentioned, that's going to be one of my things that I focus on, is staying hydrated. A few streams. So a few streams where you can get water. I've been trying to look at different water filter adapters from different packs. So it's going to be, let's see, I have a lot of solemn soft flasks. So I'll be looking at some of the different adapters they have, and then trying to see what my pack can hold, what feels most comfortable, and what I'm willing to compromise to make that a successful transition. Food and snacks. So today I have a bunch of different snacks. These ones are my favourite bar at the minute. The banana nut bread. It tastes really good. And like 3 of them to use today, but a couple of different goos. Bought a bunch extra. I've never tried the honey stingers before, so we're going to be doing those today. Try it today as well. And then the block. So every 45 minutes or so, we'll be taking on additional calories and trying to make sure that we are taking in what we need to keep going. Obviously, have capacity to burn a bunch of body weight, body fat. I store quite a bit of it, but we will be taking in some calories every 45 minutes. We're going to see what holds up the best. So, the gels, not a super big fan of gels, but they're small, compact. The goal, if you want to do some of my races, I've run out of time to prepare them, but it's mashed potato wraps. Sprinkling some bacon, some seasoning, so I can have those cold, or like the pre-made or the powdered mashed potatoes at different aid stations, mix in some hot water. So I have some of those calories, put them in the Ziploc bag, cut the corner out, then you don't need a fork, it will just come out like a squirty thing, like an icing thing. So that is going to be the plan for additional calories. The goal being to make sure that keep the body fed and just feel comfortable keeping them. My goal for the Arizona 300 was like 170-hour cutoff. I'll aim for like 155 and give myself 15-hour buffer, really, to make sure I have time to take additional sleep if I need it, additional foot care and stuff like that. And the thing is that at the end of the race, the last 5-6 hours will be in the light because the race does finish at 1 in the afternoon. So it's always nice when the race ends during the day. So if you need a kick and really push those last few miles, you're not worried about how dark it is and worrying about tripping because you're exhausted. At that point, you're just falling forwards, hoping you're falling forwards, and making sure that you've got that constant motion. So I'm going to do about 40 more minutes. So about 4% done. Nice and steady. We are going to say you can go and do it if you want. But we're gonna get the charger for the iPad and make sure that is connected. So that'll take a couple of seconds to get set. Yeah, we're starting to see some of that sweat coming through. So we're gonna do charger and take down the heat on the HVAC. I wonder would my headphones be better. I'm not sure how the treadmill sounds on the YouTube, so if it's really annoying, somebody just let me know. One of the things that I secured on my treadmill was small desk, so I'm able to have my laptop here and a couple of documents that I can read throughout, but it has shortened the length of the treadmill, so every now and then I'll start slowing off, always worried about falling off the back of the treadmill. So if I fall, we'll play it cool and we'll try not to talk about it. So we are nice and steady, moving along, nothing too crazy going on so far. Running, keeping up on my run pack, getting ready to jump off the treadmill for 30 seconds to plug in the chargers to the iPad that I forgot to plug in before and take the heat down. Stop myself from falling off the treadmill at any point if I look like I'm going to fall. This room, I mean, is usually pretty dark, so I have a spotlight on as well. I'm wondering, is that causing me to feel really warm? Probably is. Learning a bunch on how to set up YouTube and streaming. Not that I'm any more interesting than anybody else, but I'll probably get some good content next month. Start building out my coaching program. Doesn't look like it, but it was once built like somebody who knew what they were doing, so keep going with that. It's going to be fun, looking forward to it. I enjoy coaching people, having them work through whatever they're needing to build on, whether that's weight loss, weight training. I should probably take my own advice a little bit more often. Terrible self-control around food. I love food. It's awesome. I think when I was younger, the only reason I was able to out-train my diet for so long was because of how busy I was working, training. It's all I wanted to do. Then I got an office job, and it all went downhill. But it's one of the perks of doing these long distance races. I have to consume calories just to keep moving forward. So far, everything's feeling pretty good. Life's a little bit tight. I might need to, on one of my downtimes, just do a quick foam roll and then also do some back extensions. It should be enough to keep me going. This would have been easier to do on a bike and just sat down for 24 hours and just pedaled. I do like the longer distance. It's in my head. I've still got ages to go. An additional over 23 hours. So I'm just following along, so my association with time is different. So like 47 minutes on the treadmill. Obviously I'd normally go at a bit of a faster pace if I was doing a shorter workout, but I managed to get to that point, and there isn't like a sense of that 1 hour mark coming up there, or just counting down the minutes for. So it's good to feel like the plan is to keep going. So kind of your association with the distance, with the time, is very different. When I first started doing endurance events, my very first triathlon was the full distance Ironman. I was super slow, don't get me wrong. It was, I think I just got in at just over 16 hours, but my plan was if I trained for the longest distance, every other distance was at least manageable. I always knew I could do the distance, so that's why I always aim for the point furthest away from me. Then I can kind of align my goals with what I'm doing, and then know that everything else is achievable. Like I said, I'm not here to win gold, but I am here to finish. So, I'm going to keep going. My first time I was like a calamity of errors. I did a whole bunch of training on indoor bike, and I kind of Strava setup and everything, Zwift. And I thought I was faster than what I actually was. So I was putting in a huge amount of hours, a lot of work on the bike. I was not a great swimmer. I did the 2.4 miles in breaststroke. So I was faster than some, but not others. But what it led to was I was out on the bike course, and I hit my marker for what I thought was going to be 10 miles, and I hadn't hit it. I think I'd gone like 10 minutes past where I thought I was going to hit my mile marker, 10 or 20 was one of them. And I got off my bike and I was asking the other cyclist, was like, do I keep going this way, or are you on a different lap than me? I was very confused. But yeah, there's that. What else happened? Oh, my hip flexors. So I walked the entire marathon of my first Ironman. Well, that's not true. I ran 1 mile. Was pretty good pace, 7 or 8 minutes. But then walked. And by the time I like power walked. It was a pretty good speed. Maintained a 4 mile an hour pace, so 1 mile every 15 minutes. And my hip flexors were on fire. I had one of my friends come and play me. It was Maryland. The course, super flat, great for a first time, great environment. But then I got off the bike, and by the time I'd finished, everybody was packing up. The guys who were doing the massages and like had those pressure leg circulation things, they were packing up. I was like, I can't feel my legs. So got myself a beer, got some food, was sat in a chair. My friend Trevor was like having to like almost help carry me over to the bus station or the bus stop, and it was just rough. I made the mistake of laying on the floor. Getting up was an issue as well. And then, so that was in Cambridge, Maryland, and my friends lived up in Virginia. I think it was Virginia still at the time. Drove up there, I think it was 2 or 3 hours. And I was not moving well. And then I was like, same as everybody, never doing this again, never doing it again. I've done several since. I've done a solo Ironman. That was rough. I went out a couple of weeks before. I was marking out a 1 mile course, and then I had to do a separate 0.4. The morning I did it, super foggy. Wasn't able to see shoreline to shoreline, so I was on my third lap or second lap, and couldn't see any of the markers as I'm past them. I was out there treading water, and then thankfully I heard somebody close like the kitchen dumpster, and I was like, okay, I know where that is. So I started swimming towards where the noise was. So I probably did closer to 3 miles that day before doing the remaining Ironman distance. So it was a funny day. Not afterwards was it funny, but looking back now, it was funny. Alright. 53 minutes in. Now I've started talking about time. I've started becoming more focused on it. I need to stop doing that. The refund and transfer policy. I'm pretty much past any refund or transfer policy. Oh, did a little turn on my foot. I'm not sure if that was like a super tight muscle that I just stretched out, or whether that was bone moving. Testing out different shoes today as well. I think I have my Under Armour ones on right now. I'll do that for the first 4 hours. And then I have some Hoka Bondi I8s, something along those lines. And we will throw those on for a few hours. And then I have a bunch of shoes. I have a problem with how many shoes I have. This type of racing is needed, but ain't cheap either. So we're testing those out, really putting just the steps in, and then we're going to do another day where we do some actual uphill trail runs just to see what the support levels like. We are young, youth of the nation. Alright, what are we looking like? Still just wadding along. Sometimes I tend to be looking at the YouTube analytics. settings will just like jump. No idea why it does. Don't know whether it just updates at certain times. But thank you if you've jumped on and you've been watching as I just walk for the past hour. I had didn't start my watch until about 20 minutes in, so, and it doesn't give me my step count. Actually, I wonder, connect it to my phone, maybe I've got a step count in. Just interested more than anything else. Yeah, we're gonna take like a 2 minute at the hour mark to make sure I get a charger into my iPad. It's about 20, it's already at 29%, so iPad is pretty old, so the battery isn't as life-sustaining as it once was. I'm going to turn off the heating, lowering it. See what happens. But happy to get that first hour in, almost. We'll call it an hour till the hour's done. Might run for a restroom break as well. Heart rate is staying pretty low. Happy days. I'm fascinated about how the technology around smartwatches, smart devices is reading everything. You know, there's information about like it reading heart attacks and other problems. It's pretty cool what we're evolving into. Having that much data on a wrist or a chest strap. Run around and do those few things to get us set. Slowly plugging along. Start to sweat, do that. Turn that heat down. This first one's in the bag. I feel pretty good. Immensely there still. We'll keep rhyming off and talking a whole bunch of nonsense when we get back. Delighted to have you guys here for this absolute nonsense that is walking for 24 hours. Thank you guys, I'll be back in a few minutes. iPad checked in. Apparently there's a charger. I'm gonna talk. Hey! So bought a power dock for power cords and was wireless charging station on it. First time I'd actually checked it. Stretching out that back a little bit. She is feeling a certain way. One of the handy things, it's probably the longest I've had like a background video on YouTube. Let's get rolling first. I will often just scroll, same as like a lot of social media. I'll just be, my brain isn't automatically stimulated. I'm all of a sudden all over the place. So one of the things is looking into a study about how attention span and our ability to focus has greatly changed over the past, well, the live going on another screen. So I've just stepped onto the treadmill right now according to that screen, but I got this beautiful shot of my spare chin. So not sure if this sideways is going to work any better, but it allows me to plug my iPad charger in. So my original plan was then to set up, use my camera as the webcam, and then have it broadcasting on my screen, so I didn't get into the habit of walking with my head down. I want to try to keep my head up. But I found myself checking down on the screen a whole bunch. Things. I'm a huge fan of analytics and studying stuff like that, so getting to see some of the analytics on YouTube, super handy. Having, I think multiple times I've tried to start a YouTube channel, but I don't have time to be consistent. So we are just gonna roll with it this time, see how it goes, and build from there. I have a lot of background in coaching, so that is the route that we're going. Video editing is not my strong suit. It's been interesting. I've been watching a lot of content online about how to do that, and the common thread I'm seeing is like the editing out portion should be outsourced. It's the content creation, the education is the skill set that I have, and then outsource that if you have the time, the means, stuff like that. So I'm going to give myself a period of time to learn how to edit effectively, and then from there keep pushing on, figuring out what equipment I need. I'd like Adobe Pro for I got it in January. I had this same idea last year when website, and just haven't built the content to match it, that original investment. So we'll see. Mentally in my head there now, figuring out what is the best way to keep costs at a minimum to be able to do everything. Because at the moment, I'd still invest, but the return isn't there. So how do we go about that? So I'm going to keep lots of costs low. Go from there and have realistic goals. Maybe like one truly good educational video a week, plus like the live stuff or the other content that really isn't designed to be anything other than like keeping people engaged. Use as kind of way to catch people's attention, see what has most success in short form, and see if there's a longer piece of content that should be made about it. So anything nutrition-based, training-based, and building out from there. So I meant to grab a pen on the last go around so I can make sure that if I have any moments of clarity and genius that I could write them down. But I suppose I can come back and watch myself talk, which for myself is not the most fun thing in the world. And then I realised how much waffle that I was talking to everybody else who was online. And I appreciate you guys hanging around with it. But we'll keep on walking for another 23 hours. Trying to think, what do I want for lunch tomorrow? Finish in 24 hours, 12 p.m. local time here. So I know that about 10 a.m. onwards, I'm going to be on DoorDash, just scrolling through. Have it at the door ready to go. Also been trying to figure out, I remember if my GoPro has live on it. Doing all those hikes in Arizona, trying to figure out if I bring that with me. Is that going to be a good way to capture content? Saves me having to have it connected to my phone. I'm trying to remember. I bought it brand new maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe it's longer. It hasn't been used a lot in the past couple of years. I think there was a stink bug walking past my wall beside me. Some sort of bug. Still pretty bad with wasps here in Texas. So those nests are all up around the place. No matter how many times we try to get rid of them. So far, I feel holding up pretty well. I would hope so and assume so. With long distance races I do have coming up, if I was starting to have problems already, I would have to reevaluate what we're doing. Shoes are still feeling pretty comfortable. But as I mentioned, we're going to switch up the shoes a couple times throughout this 24-hour. Try and figure out what shoes are going to be best, or whether I should, because the amount of hours I will be putting on each pair, I should probably have a turnover before my late spring races. So that'll be kind of my telltale. It's like, do I want to be wearing these for 4 or 5 hours at a time? Some of them are pretty comfortable, but I weigh just shy of 275 right now, so it's not like I'm a small guy. I was never built this big before. It's kind of one of the driving factors for me to try to do these long distance races, lose some of the excess weight. There's a large amount of excess weight. So with this being where I am right now, is the impact on the shoes, like how is that going to affect me differently. So my goal currently is at weight loss, 2 pounds a week, 2 to 3. If I'm being that active, I should be able to, at least for the first few months, when I do have a lot of excess weight, to be able to burn off those few extra calories that primarily come from water retention. So we'll build a diet plan around that mindset. So the goal of any weight loss program is to create that calorie deficit. And you create a calorie deficit in primarily 2 ways. You have your calorie intake. So you're aiming for taking in 500 calories less than what you need. So to figure that out, I use the basal metabolic rate. So it takes your height, weight, not just your height and your weight, like your BMI. Your BMI, when I was down at single digits body fat, it was telling me I was obese. So BMI is, for general population, a useful tool, but BMR, basal metabolic rate, is what I would use to figure out what I need to be consuming on a daily basis. So it takes in height, your lean mass, and where you should truly be. So I take 500 calories off that. I then also look at my daily training, and for a simplified version is I will also, for the first 500 calories I burn, I do not consume any additional calories. So that gives me 1,000 calories a day that I'm burning off the top. So half of it via food, half of it by exercise. And then 1,000 a day is 7,000 over the course of the week. And then from that point, that's 2 pounds of body fat. One pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. So water weight, and like just because I'm bigger, there is additional water. So there's additional calories or weight, not necessarily fat loss that will take place. If that will take place, I'll drop additional water weight via that as well. So that's generally why people will say that at the start of a diet, they lose a tremendous amount of weight and then they get discouraged because that level of intensity doesn't continue, which is a good thing because you shouldn't be losing that amount of weight that quickly. The first few weeks is really water retention, clearing out the bowels. Like, you could be just retaining a whole bunch of food through this continual cycle. You take a shit, but you're filling up again, so your body isn't empty. So you will then have your calories in, calories out. So once you start to diet, you have that rapid weight loss of waste and water. Cortisol is also a major problem if you're drinking a lot of sodas, a lot of sugars, all the things that I know aren't great for you. But then we go from there, and that's why people have that sharp weight loss at first, and then motivation dips after that first 2 or 3 weeks because the trend hasn't continued. But realistically, you may have lost 2 pounds a week during those first 2 weeks and 8 pounds of everything else. So you have to figure out how you want to measure yourself. A lot of people will use skin fold calipers. Photos are just a good way. You can do a visual check on where you are. You can do like body buoyancy and get submerged in water, and it figures out where your body is. But skin fold calipers is the more measurements you can take, the more accurate it becomes. But it's very dependent on the skill and the ability of the person taking the test. The taking photos is a super handy way because it's a visual. You can start to see different lines of definition. So when I'm doing mine, I will build my program out with photos. I will take key measurements. What else? Skin fold calipers. I don't really use them anymore. When I was lean, it was super important to me. But that was definitely when I was younger. I was very ego-driven. I was wearing tight t-shirts and walking around like I was flipping amazing, and I felt like I was pretty good, felt comfortable, felt confident. I remember when I stopped training as hard as that, and that was when I had leaned out, really looked great, had photo shoots done, and then maintaining a super low body weight, which is mentally draining. And so I switched kind of my training approach and ended up just not focusing on like being 5% body fat and wanting abs all the time. So that kind of removed one of my visual cues for if I was no longer in shape. So, and because I didn't use weighing scales, well, back then a lot of the stuff was visual. So now I'm trying to get back into shape again. I'll use weighing scales. I'll weigh myself, try to every day, kind of at the same time when I wake up, post restroom stuff, and from there weigh myself. I'll do a visual check. I didn't have a big mirror, and that was probably one of the biggest kind of, I don't want to say heart-stopping moments, but full-size mirror, and I realized I'd put a huge amount of weight on around my waist. Not so much everywhere else. I can definitely tell in my face I'm not as lean as I used to be, but a lot of it's held in my torso. So that was one of those visual metrics that I'll go back to using with a lot more frequency. So those are kind of the visual and the physical cues that I will use to help maintain my weight loss journey. So with the goal of weight loss, 2 to 3 pounds of weight loss in those first 3 or 4 weeks. And then a consistent 2-pound weight loss as I start to get closer to competition, depending on how much I've lost, my energy levels during workout. I may stop the weight loss phase so that I'm maintaining a kind of a optimum level of calorie intake. So we've got the weight loss piece of it, and then as I mentioned, once we're closer into that training cycle, we will probably balance out those training calories, and then so there may be weight loss, but it will be greatly diminished. So decreasing the calories needed in the basic metabolic rate, but having a equal in, equal out calorie balance when it comes to training, so that I'm maintaining the kind of training intensity. So that is calories 101, weight loss 101. maintaining it. So we will try to do better. So one of the big things for me is accountability. And it's one of the things I know I need, and it's one of the cornerstones of how I train, is just holding people accountable. When I'm training people, I become more focused on the essential need to have somebody there to call me out on my shit. Be like, Ricky, did you eat that ice cream? You ate that half pizza? Be like, yeah. And then, depending on how intense you want to be with training, you can either have somebody who is there every day. I like to work with coaches in this, but you should be like your inner circle, those people you trust, close friends, family, loved ones. They should be there to assist you. And there's a level of trust with that, where you have to give them the permission to be able to do that. And then you have to be able to give yourself permission to respond in a way that is effective. But if you need somebody to hold you accountable, let them know what your goals are and figure out how do they approach you in order to be effective at holding you accountable, where it doesn't feel like they're attacking you, or on the tail end you attack them for trying to help you maintain accountability. My accountability was my pizza, which I feel like I'm going to burn calories off today. And chances are, after burping it up 4 or 5 times there, I may see it again anyway. But, so, building upon your own personal weight loss journey and figuring out where you want to take it. So we've got calories and kind of where your plan should be in maintaining that goal of weight loss. Just thinking, as I remember my random notes to include on this, wonder is there a way that I can eventually get my steps up on the screen? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so that was one of my squirrel moments. That's where I kind of completely go off topic and forget what I was talking about. Yeah, so we are just shy of an hour and a half in. We're doing pretty good. Happy with the way my feet are feeling. My back's a little bit tight. I'm notoriously bad for like having a rounded posture, so I have to get in a habit of just run duct tape across the back of my shoulders. I think the next time I might have to have the camera up a little bit higher. All I'm doing is looking like underneath my chin. I notice my beard, and it looks like a giant shadow there. Oh man. Who else saw the Mike Tyson fight? Oh, we went down to AT&T Arena. So long. One of my OCD thingies is like time, and like on the original card or whatever, it was like 8:30 main event, and then when it got there it was 9 o'clock. I was like, all right, I can do that. So then I can leave by 10, be back home by 11, fall asleep. But no, it's so long. I'm just like, it's been interesting seeing the fallout from that. But really enjoyed the 2 fights prior, Barrios and Ramos. 2 skilled fighters, very quick. That was enjoyable fighting in the ladies who were on the undercard as well. Katie and Amanda. There was blood in that one, the rule. But it was good fight. I do think Amanda probably should have won the fight. She was throwing more punches. I wouldn't say it was dirty, but there was definitely a lot of comments made about the way Katie Taylor was dropping in, using those braids up into the corner of the eye. Definitely felt it was during, we were in the stands, and I know during it felt like they were figuring stuff out as the night went on. So that was intriguing. Like, we didn't realize how bad the coverage was on TV, so we were sat there watching the fight, and it felt like all the entertainment was being focused on people at home, so there was very little information, commentary, and just like general, a little bit of entertainment, pastime, just music. It didn't feel up to super late, so like it was super, like we got there during first or second fight. It was very empty, so yeah, filled up by the end, a couple of seats empty by the top, and it started to feel like they were figuring out presenting on the big screens and like doing everything in between. But yeah, got to see Mike Tyson fight, something I never thought I was going to see, and didn't even realize it was being held in Arlington until the week before. I'd put off watching the documentary, and I was watching it, and they mentioned that it was in Arlington. I went online to check to see if there was tickets. There was a lot of tickets. The guy I sat next to, I think he got tickets that day, so I'm not sure if there was a big push to make sure that all the tickets were sold. But yeah, they got them moved. So it was an event. It was funny. I don't think many people left during the fight, but as soon as the final bell went, like, people were out. I was out. Didn't hang around for like chatting in the ring after the fight. I wanted to get out of the parking lot, and on my way back home, it was about a 45-minute drive. And I was so hungry. I think I stopped for a Taco Bell on the way home. Yeah, we are an hour and a half in, so feet are still holding pretty well. There isn't too much pain or anything like that. It means that there would be a lot more lateral movement and side to side if I was obviously out on a trail. But so far, everything's holding up. That background music might be switched on and off for some different content. I wonder if throwing headphones on and keeping myself entertained that way. Yeah, it is. What else? So, yeah, in about 2.5 hours, I'll do my first sit down, taking some calories. After that should take in the next round of calories. We're going to give it a try. Alright, so we're going to give blueberry and pomegranate gel. 65 grams of caffeine, sorry, 35 grams of caffeine, 65 would be quite a bit. You make sure you drink plenty of water as well. Sodium amino acids. I think I liked this one. Can't remember. Taste is bad. The texture is the thing that like takes me a second to get used to. I need to just that is. There's only so many of them I can do within a race, so I have to make sure I buy in bulk the ones I actually don't mind. So that one, I'd consume it. I don't want to give it a scale because I don't want to stress myself out by the ones I like being like a mid-average snack. But I do have the Go gummies, so they're a little bit easier or more comfortable for me to consume. Yeah, I think I went through all my stories in the first 90 minutes. After that taste now. Yeah. So April, the first big race of the season. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Reading over the runner's manual now. Also wearing sweats. I shouldn't have worn sweats. Spare pair of shorts I'm going to throw on the first round. Progressing on the course time penalties. Just here reading. So, what was it? It's past Saturday? Sunday? No, today's Saturday. My days are all over. It was Thursday we went back swimming. So it's past summer, had a heart attack. It's a minor heart attack. It was enough for me on the arse though. So cardio levels have been pretty low. I think I've put on about 20 pounds since then. So burn that off as I get moving. Went on a cruise ship and they had free pizza. That was great, but I ate too much pizza. But I went back and swam. I can do breaststroke non-stop. But freestyle is really what I need to be doing to kind of elevate my fitness levels. And I think I spent about 20 minutes in the pool. First 5 breaststroke, warming up, just getting limber again. And I think I did 2 lengths of freestyle. I was cooked. So I ended up switching to like 1 length on the mid-air every minute. I think I got about, my total workout ended up being about 21 minutes, but I was kind of, in my head I started going through, is it just because I haven't swam, so I have a heart attack in July, so August, September, October. So it's been 3.5 months. So trying to figure out is that my fitness, is with my heart. So kind of stopped the workout there. And then now we're just I'm going to start reviewing my heart rate data a little bit more. So I have my chest strap that I put on at the 4-hour mark, and I'll monitor that throughout the evening. Exhaustion can cause your heart rate to shoot up, so I'm going to keep an eye on that and make sure it's not spiking when I'm doing a low intensity like this. So I'm going to keep an eye on it that way. It is. I'm glad I dropped the temperature down. I'm definitely sweating buckets. Yeah. There's an REI this week as well. I'm not sure. I bought a bunch of stuff. They have a sale going on. If you remember, $30, I think, for an annual membership. Got this, super comfortable. Let's see if I start chafing in it. In my breaks, I'm going to change my shirts, dry myself off, make sure that I am staying comfortable. I think I still have in my gym, my squat rack has a pull-up bar on it, so I might hang off of that as well. Definitely noticed. I'd say even before I had my heart attack, my training volume had greatly diminished. As I mentioned, working admin a lot more now, just not as active. Maybe my health was kind of on a decline for a little while, so just hadn't been putting the hours in at the gym that I used to. And then one of those pieces was my back. Like I mentioned, posture was always not great when I was younger. Had an arm that was like you have to pull your shoulders back. And I'm pretty sure I got it for a while, but then just if you're not maintaining it, it just ended up decreasing. And then ego lifting when I was younger, wanting a big chest, so I would spend a huge amount of time bench pressing, dumbbell pressing, and it pulls your shoulders forward, makes your chest look bigger. So younger, just like ego lift, not so much an ego lifter. I was always pretty safe. Never really, I had a pretty decent program, so I wasn't necessarily lifting a lot of weight, but I wasn't a super big kid. I wasn't naturally built like a tank, so any little angle that I could get to work, we would do that. But yeah, just put my shoulders. But now, ultra running, super long endurance races, you just need to keep moving. When I was competing and running pretty quickly, I think it was like weighed probably about 160, 165. So I'm about 110 pounds heavier than when I was competing and racing. when I was a young adult. So I don't see myself getting back there. I'd like to get back maybe to 190. So that's like an 80-pound weight loss. My goal is to maintain a weight loss plan for the course of the year, so that entering into January 26, which in theory, it's not theory, it's 13 and a half months. So that's 58 weeks. Then I am like at that 185 to 195 range, which is doable. In theory, if I maintained a 2 pound a week weight loss. I say in theory a lot, but it's actual math, so it shouldn't be in theory. But in all reality, if I maintain a 2 pound a week weight loss for 58 weeks, that's 116 pounds. Now, there's definitely always going to be weeks where you don't hit that. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up. Love me some mashed potatoes, stuffing, a whole bunch of gravy, all the side fixings. So I'll do my best. I think we're gonna cook some ham, maybe turkey. I'm gonna get some sausage meat and do a sausage meat stuffing. So that should be fun. I may run in Turkey trot this year. I just realised I could. So might be doing even 10k on Thanksgiving morning. What's going on in all of my stuff? So I usually run on a treadmill, start stripping off, but I figured nobody wants to actually see that. So I'm just going to sit here sweating. Dude, like, this t-shirt's just bringing up every stain. It's like unflattering. So I expect to be there. No, it's just like getting underneath all my fat creases. Apparently there's, I don't know, wondering how some of the analytics on this works. So I have the Blue Angels, not Blue Angels, yeah, base right beside me. So every now and then I hear the new F-35s. They're just like buzz past me or above my house, which is pretty cool. Most of the time. It does get pretty noisy. So I got a couple of orders to lean on my dashboard. Oh, that does stretch out my lower back a little bit. Definitely feel like this could be considered cheating. Oh yeah. Taking that weight off my lower back felt good. At least I know that's a short-term reprieve. Plugging along, approaching 2 hours. That puts us like, it's not 10%, it's like almost 8% done. It's not bad. And my feet definitely feel like they've been walking for 2 hours. A little bit to when I started at noon. I'm wondering, should I have started a little earlier? I was doing stuff as well this morning, so watch the watch party with the Red Horde on YouTube as well, so the Wrexham game. So they had a 3-0 win, so I like having that on the background. It's kind of a nice way to keep it plugged on. It's like YouTube in some sections has become the kind of modern day radio station, with people just talking about what they're watching. So it's funny to see how things evolve back upon themselves. Relaxed movement is the background music. Still got those trees bobbing back and forth, slowly driving me into a seizure. Potentially need to switch it up into something a little bit more upbeat, but I'm not sure if I'll get dinged by copyright, so maybe I need to put a set of headphones in, put karaoke on, just play karaoke. Saturday, November 23rd. It is 1:53 p.m. in the Central Standard Time. We are currently in Fort Worth, Texas. And I got sweat dripping from everywhere. And we are walking. I do have my clock covered on my treadmill and the distance. I'm not really worried about distance, just because it's a walk. It's not meant to be anything about distance. It's about trying to make sure I get my steps in, my distance. What is going on in the world? Charge my phone up a little bit. That's what I was looking for. Why can't you just show me the steps? Let's see. Oh, okay. So we are at just shy of 12,000 steps. Away. And I don't think I've been wearing my watch count a whole lot, but what is that? So, not many yet. Probably, I don't know how many steps we can hit. The math ain't mathing right now. We are walking, and we are going nowhere. I am walking, and it's not up the stairs. I need to figure out what some of these settings on YouTube actually mean. See more. Oh, just had a nice cold breeze come off the HVAC unit. So one of the things I'm definitely noticing is like sciatica in my left side. It's pretty recent. I'm not sure if that's like one of the things I'm just noticing. It's probably because I'm trying to move it. It's pretty rigid, so it's not as forgiving. Wonder, I wouldn't mind actually using a stepper. That'd be interesting. So a stepper for 24 hours. Step climber. Just not snowy steps, but I burned my legs out once I got there. Foam rolling out. Just get that back realigned. Sweating like a demon every day. Oh, Supernatural would be bad to just throw on for a couple episodes. every day. Sweating through my t-shirts every way. Sweating through my t-shirts. Alright, we're at 2 hours of walking. Tis how far have we walked? Started my watch 20 minutes late, so that's not super accurate. 12,500 steps. So not too far. So I started to feel a little bit dizzy. Pretty sure it's not consuming enough calories that we have to be later. So we have tailwind. So I'm used to some of the stronger pre-workouts, I should say, from my youth. The original Jack 3D. That I don't know how much banned stuff was in that, but man, you would have the workout of your life. I remember when I would take like 3 scoops, and it suggested 1 scoop only, but it tasted awful. It was like this weird yellow color, but then you'd consume it and your body was just like take you to a different gym. You'd be working out somewhere else. But yeah, it's probably best that they stopped using that, but like I definitely used to take far too much pre-workout when I was younger. Not even when I was younger. Now I need to take 7 scoops just to feel like I'm alive. But so just pause there for a second to make a wee shake. Dun, 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 dun. What is money? My connection is acting up. looks like. We got back up and running again. Energy definitely started dipping as well. Doing energy chews, Cliff Blocks energy chews. Definitely prefer these. So feet seem to be holding up pretty well. What else? These shoes are pretty good. So we are what are we? That's a great question. So we're 2 hours, 20 minutes in. We've got an hour and a half, and then I'm going to take 10 minutes, change my shoes up, and then change my shirt, get some additional calories in, make sure I'm hydrated. Actually, where's my protein shaker? So I've got me some tailwind in here. I have grabbed protein bar. Yeah, there's 9 grams of protein. These are pretty good. I like these. I've got my blocks. These are mountain berry. So 3 pieces is 100 calories. So I'll try to wait another 30-35 minutes before I eat the other 3 of these. A couple of things that are my knee. I'm going to need to keep an eye on my left knee. with the downside with the treadmill, it's very much the same movement each time. What we get with the trail is you hit the feet at different angles and like you're doing different things, so you're not pre-exhausting any one particular ligament muscle that maybe is tight, injured, or anything like that. I think more than anything, boredom's going to get to me before anything else. So I'm keeping the speed pretty low. The goal isn't so much to like hammer home it's more about getting through the night. It's the time more so than the distance. So keeping the treadmill at a pretty low pace, just more walking, making sure I continually walk, with the goal being to make it to noon my time tomorrow, and then to be able to function without any hallucinations. So 24 hours is the goal. And then within that time to have a minimum of 50 miles done, which should be pretty easy, as long as like for some reason I don't fall asleep in the middle of the night. On one of my breaks, the chair isn't that comfortable, so I'm not too worried about that happening. But I'll tell you what isn't. Chafing. I have to make note of what boxes I'm wearing. I can tell, like, my body mechanics. It's not fluid. It should be like very little movement. Everything should be nice and smooth. But I gotta waddle like a duck. Always waddled when I walked. Definitely have friends that you can pick me out of a group of people when I'm walking towards them, and like there's only a little bit of background lighting. We trying to avoid doom scrolling on my phone. I might get to that point eventually to keep me occupied. Not on the bed, right? Crowbar. Remember when I did Iron Man? You can't have headphones or anything like that. I feel very much like that right now. anything going on in my head, like to distract me. It's like a vacuum. I just like waddle. But then there's like flickers of engagement where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm walking on a treadmill for another 22 hours. I'm walking on a treadmill for another 22 hours. 21 and a half. Get in. That first 4-hour interval. Stretch my back out. Get that bad boy. Trying to figure out how much of a delay there was between me moving and something happening. So I'm going to put up my arm and see when it appears on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Not too bad. Dong. Sweating, we're sweating. So, no, a little bit off, an hour and a half off. But when I get to that 4-hour mark, I'm gonna give me food, do a change of clothes. Mainly because I've sweatpants on, a long sleeve t-shirt or top. There's no need for that. I'm gonna put some anti-chafing stuff on, consume fluids and calories whilst I'm in a stationary spot. Switch my camera to my phone. My iPad doesn't seem it's on charge, but the rate at which it's decreasing its charge, still losing charge. So let's see if it can hold up. It took like an hour and a half to drop 8%. think early on, the first 2 hours, I was very much like, gotta talk about my process. Now I'm like, if you're here, thank you. You're all wonderful human beings. As we also try to get the number of watch hours on YouTube. Try to get one of those monetized things. So we're currently building out some videos for monetization. But you don't really make anything till you have 3,000 hours of public watch hours. So trying to get those in. So if you just hang out, it'd be awesome. If you can't, if the rhythmic sound of the treadmill puts you to sleep, then you need to switch. I get that too. About an hour 20 before I take my first 10-15 minute break. In about 20 minutes, I'll leave the treadmill going, but I'll take 1 or 2 minutes just to consume some fluids. Maybe throw a different t-shirt on, maybe different shorts. We shall see. It is 2.5 hours in. Not super tired. I think chafing has got me more so than any pain. Definitely need to switch up shoes. I think I'm currently wearing my Under Armours. I don't think there was much cushion as the Hokas I'm going to be wearing. These would definitely be more so for a trail run or road opposed to the trail. Same as the Hokas. So the Hokas, I'm gonna, when I do the Coconut and Arizona Monster, I'll have them with me so that I have something for the flat sections. I have a couple of the Hoka Go 5. My brain isn't recalling right away, but for a lot of the trails, and then I have a couple of Solomon shoes. So a variety of different footwear for the terrain. Each race, Cocodona is 250 miles and the Arizona Monster is 300. So each hold a lot of elevation and descent. So making sure that I'm prepared for both of those. The shin splints are doing pretty good. I've been working on them quite a bit lately. Some toe flexion work. It's just slowly increasing the load. Obviously the tail end of this, this is just more of a longevity distance than a speed or other conditioning. This is just trying to see if we can get through a 24-hour window with a decreased amount of hallucinations and distractions. So we're going for another just over 21 hours. Reason I'm doing it indoors Number one, it's safer for my first kind of full through the night trek. Just want to make sure that if I do start going a bit funny, I can just sit down. Nothing too stressed about. So that'll be a good way to be. And then, like I mentioned, potentially switching from the iPad over to the phone or the laptop. The charging the iPad is definitely slowly decreasing. It's at like 20% right now. It is plugged in, but potentially run everything off of the laptop. Downside of the laptop, it's a relatively cheap one, so the webcam is pretty poor. So I haven't really had to worry about it because I bought the new iPhone. It's the first time I've really got a new iPhone, but the camera on it is pretty impressive. So I haven't had to worry about like camera quality, and I wasn't able to get my camera actually up and running. So we are. That's what we're left with. So kind of in a funk right now where I'm just really just trying to keep plodding on, get to the 4-hour mark so I can do kind of a clothing switch around. Got some big thighs on me, so put some additional like, baby powder, some anti-chafe stuff, so there's a couple of different brands you can use for that. And it works pretty well just because of the distance and how far you're going. It's important to like address it pretty early on. Same with any injury or like anything when you're working. Like when I go to do 100 miles or above, wanting to make sure like address every problem as soon as it arises or at the first aid station, so that it doesn't become a major problem 10, 15, 20 miles further along the road where you're then in pain and discomfort. So identify it early and then address it. You'll find when my internet went down a little while ago, I lost the channel that had my background music on. See if I can find that. It was kind of giving me. The screensaver to it was pulsing to the music, so I was struggling to stay focused and not get a headache as I was watching it. But background music isn't too bad. To put a link to this video for the background music. So we are 2 hours 45 minutes in. We're moving in like 10 days, and so I have the PlayStation packed up Kind of wish I didn't. Would have been a great way to start passing some of the time. So kind of at that point where I'm just, it's not difficult to do. It's just a matter of keep on swimming, keep on swimming. I've got about 12 minutes, then I'm going to take a water break. here to everyone who's online. We are almost 3 hours in. It has had some technical issues a little while. Well, we're getting there. Kind of in that, I'm going to say downward, but my energy level is definitely in a just keep going. Don't think too much. My chat and banter has definitely declined. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm just going to keep walking. As I mentioned at the beginning, there's not too much of a purpose to this 24-hour other than trying to train for overnight hiking, and this being this is probably the safest way I could do that first overnight experience. So my treadmill, got snacks, got my food, and a safe environment. I'm gonna play it smart. In about 5 minutes, I'm gonna take some water and nutrition on, and then in an hour and 5 minutes, I'm gonna simulate an aid station. So we're gonna take 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna hydrate. We're gonna eat, and kind of figure out what the body needs, whether that's massaging feet, addressing any foot issues and stuff like that. So trying to pace it out every 4 hours, do a major review. But if you're just stopping by because you see this, appreciate you. And yeah, thanks for being part of the journey. About 3 minutes, I'm gonna do a quick pit stop. I'm just gonna change my shirt, pants, and do some anti-chafing stuff, just so that it doesn't get any more aggravated. But that's quickly approaching the 3 hour mark, so about 12% done. Alrighty, we are 3 hours in. Just giving my feet a bit of a stretch and my toes. Oh, that feels good. I'm gonna do a quick change of my clothing, make sure I'm prepped. We'll do a full, I'm gonna do a full kind of sit down and brief in an hour, but just want to address some of the kind of my initial needs because it was kind of the start of the process. Hopefully that will alleviate a lot of the issues as I push in later to the evening. Might do some ball work on my feet, so maybe this one will take closer to 5 minutes, but at the moment boredom is my biggest enemy, so that's to be expected. Going on a treadmill, I definitely prefer trails and being a trail runner, just because there's a lot to look at, a lot of distractions. You're looking at stuff on the floor and constantly just on the go. But I'll be back in a few minutes and look forward to you continuing on this journey with me. I haven't put shoes on yet. I'm going to do some rolling on the base of my foot. And I'm going to figure out if I'm able to switch over to